You've been told time and time again what success should look like, what it should feel like, how to get there, and what's right and wrong. But what if all of it has been leading you in the wrong direction? What if the conventional wisdom you've been following, the roadmap everyone insists is the way, isn't actually the path that will get you to where you need to be? You've tried, and you've tried again. You've followed the rules. You've done everything by the book. And yet, success feels like it's always just out of reach. Maybe it's time to stop listening to what everyone else is saying and listen to your own instincts instead. Watch this video till the end and discover a new way to think about success, one that might surprise you. You've been chasing it, haven't you? That elusive thing they call success. You've been taught what it should look like. The big house, the fancy car, the accolades, the recognition, the wealth. And you've worked for it. Maybe harder than you've ever worked for anything in your life. You've done everything they told you to do. Follow the path, hit the milestones, accumulate the things that signify you've made it. And yet here you are still feeling like something's missing. You've got the things that are supposed to make you happy, but there's this emptiness that you can't quite shake. That's the truth, isn't it? The truth that no one really talks about, the definition of success that's been drilled into you your entire life. Might not be the definition that fits you. The world has handed you a blueprint, and you've followed it to the letter. But here's the problem. It was never your blueprint. You didn't write it. It was written for you by people who never really knew what you wanted, never truly understood what would make you feel fulfilled. And now you're standing at the edge, looking at all that you've built, wondering if there's something more, something deeper. What if I told you that success isn't about meeting other people's expectations? What if I told you that all this time you've been chasing something that wasn't even yours to pursue? You don't need to fit into someone else's mold. You don't need to measure your worth by the things you own or the approval you get from others. The truth is, success is personal. It's not a one-size-fits-all destination. Success isn't about achieving what others think you should. It's about finding what truly makes you feel alive, what makes you feel fulfilled, and what gives you a sense of purpose. The world might tell you that success is wealth, fame, and status. But I need you to look within and ask yourself, what does success look like for me? You've been chasing someone else's dream for too long. You've been running after things that, deep down, you might not even want. Society, family, friends. They've all had their say in what you should be aiming for. And somewhere along the way, you stopped listening to yourself. You stopped questioning whether the goals you were chasing were truly yours, or just reflections of other people's desires for you. But here's where the shift starts. True success is not about what you have. It's about who you are becoming. It's about waking up every day knowing that what you're doing matters to you. Knowing that the effort you put in aligns with your values, your dreams, your purpose. Success is about creating something that's yours, something that resonates with your soul and makes you feel whole. You might be scared to let go of the version of success that you've been holding on to for so long. Maybe you've spent years building a life based on external validation, and the thought of changing course feels like you'd be losing everything. But here's the truth. You don't have to lose anything. In fact, you'll gain everything when you start building your life on your terms. The things that truly matter to you will make themselves clear when you begin to listen to yourself. Your success, your peace, your happiness. None of those things can be measured by someone else's standard. Only you know what's truly fulfilling for you. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what does success look like to you? When you think about what you want to accomplish in life, what lights you up? What makes you feel alive? Success might not be a dollar amount in your bank account. It might not be the titles or the trophies. It might be the simple feeling of knowing that you are living a life that aligns with your purpose, that you are building something that is meaningful to you. Success might be in the relationships you've built, in the impact you've had on others, or in the quiet moments where you feel proud of the person you've become. It might be in creating a life that allows you to be fully present, to live authentically, and to feel connected to what truly matters. You can still chase your goals. You can still want achievement, but don't let those things be the definition of your worth. Your worth is intrinsic. It is not defined by your bank balance or the attention you receive. It's defined by who you are, by what you give to the world, and by how you feel when you look at your life and say, this is mine and it's enough. The problem isn't that you don't know how to achieve success. You've been taught that part. The problem is that you've been chasing the wrong thing. You've been looking at success through a lens that's not yours. Now it's time to clean the lens, to shift your focus and to see success through your own eyes. When you finally embrace your own definition of success, you will stop measuring your worth by external standards. You'll stop comparing yourself to others. You'll stop looking at other people's achievements and feeling like you're falling behind, because your success won't look like theirs, and that's okay. It's more than okay, it's perfect. The moment you let go of the pressure to fit into someone else's mold is the moment you free yourself to create your own path. The truth is, you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And success? It's not a destination, it's a journey. A journey that's uniquely yours, shaped by your experiences, your values, and your dreams. There's no rush. There's no finish line that you need to cross just to prove something. The moment you realize that, the weight lifts off your shoulders. You're not chasing after something that's been handed to you by others. You're creating something that's yours, something that is meaningful, something that makes you feel fulfilled. Success, in its truest form, is freedom. Freedom to live life on your own terms. To create a reality that is in line with who you truly are. It's time to break free from the definition of success that has been placed upon you. It's time to redefine success for yourself. And when you do, that's when the real power, the real peace, and the real fulfillment will come. So stop running someone else's race. Start running your own. And remember, your success is yours to define. Only you have the power to decide what truly matters. You've been stuck, haven't you? Stuck in this endless loop of trying to get everything just right, trying to control every detail, making sure it's perfect before you take the next step. The pressure builds up, and every mistake feels like a sign that you're not good enough, that you're not capable. The voice in your head tells you, you have to do it perfectly or not at all. And so you hesitate. You wait for the perfect moment. You spend hours, days, even weeks trying to get everything just right. And yet the closer you get to starting, the more paralyzed you become. Perfectionism has a way of doing that. It convinces you that unless everything is flawless, you'll fail. It tells you that mistakes are something to avoid at all costs, that imperfections are signs of inadequacy. But here's the truth. Perfectionism is not a friend. It's a trap. It's a roadblock that's stopping you from moving forward, from taking risks, from achieving the very success you're striving for. What if I told you that the pursuit of perfection is actually preventing you from succeeding? That by constantly trying to be flawless, you're actually holding yourself back from growth. You see, perfectionism isn't about striving for the best version of yourself. It's about fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not measuring up. And when you let fear dictate your actions, you stop taking risks. You stop learning. You stop growing because you're too afraid to make mistakes. Too afraid to put yourself out there, to try something new, to fail. But here's the thing. Failure is not the enemy. Mistakes are not your downfall. In fact, they are a vital part of your journey. Without mistakes, without failure, how would you ever learn? How would you ever get better? You can't expect to create something incredible if you don't give yourself the freedom to fail along the way. The real failure isn't in making mistakes. It's in not trying at all. The truth is, perfection doesn't exist. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you plan, no matter how many hours you put in, things will never be perfect. Life isn't perfect. People aren't perfect. You're not perfect. And that's okay. In fact, that's more than okay. That's the beauty of it. The imperfections, the mistakes, the missteps, they are all part of what makes you human. They are the very things that allow you to grow, to evolve, and to become the person you are meant to be. But I know it's hard. I know the voice in your head that says, it's not good enough, or you're not ready, is loud. I know how easy it is to get caught in the cycle of self-criticism, of thinking that if you just work a little harder, perfect it just a little more, then maybe, just maybe, you'll be worthy of success. But let me tell you something, You are worthy right now as you are, with all your imperfections, with all your mistakes, with all the things that you think aren't good enough. You are worthy, and you don't need perfection to prove that. So what if you decided to let go of the need for everything to be perfect? What if you stopped waiting for the right moment and just started? What if you allowed yourself to be human, to make mistakes, and to see those mistakes as opportunities to learn, not as reasons to quit? It's time to embrace imperfection. It's time to stop hiding behind the idea of perfection and start showing up as you are. Because the truth is, the only way to truly grow is to step outside of your comfort zone, to take the leap even when you don't feel ready, to try and fail and try again. The more you practice this, the more you'll realize that failure isn't something to fear. It's something to welcome. Each mistake is a lesson. Each setback is an opportunity to adjust, to improve, to get one step closer to where you want to be. The more you allow yourself to fail, the more you'll learn, the more you'll grow, and the closer you'll get to achieving your goals. But none of that happens if you're waiting for perfection. None of that happens if you're too afraid to take the first step because you're worried about messing up. Imagine what it would feel like to let go of that pressure. Imagine what it would feel like to show up each day, doing your best, and knowing that your best doesn't have to be flawless. It just has to be honest. It just has to be real. You don't need perfection to succeed. You need action. You need courage. You need the willingness to try, to fail, and to try again. And the more you practice this, the more you'll see that failure isn't the end of the road, it's part of the journey. It's the process that leads you to success. It's time to shift your mindset. It's time to stop seeing imperfection as something to avoid and start seeing it as part of the process. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to be willing. Willing to show up. Willing to take risks. Willing to be imperfect. Because that's where the magic happens. The breakthrough comes when you realize that imperfection is your greatest strength. It's the thing that allows you to connect with others, to learn, to grow. It's the thing that makes you human. And once you stop striving for perfection, you'll realize that the only thing holding you back all along was the belief that you had to be perfect to succeed. So let go of that belief. Let go of the pressure. Embrace imperfection. Embrace failure. And take the next step, knowing that you are already worthy, already enough, and already on your way. Because success doesn't require perfection. It just requires you to show up. And that's the first step to everything you've ever wanted. You've been there, haven't you? Standing at the edge, staring into the unknown, feeling the weight of uncertainty pressing down on you. You know you want to take that leap. You know there's something greater waiting for you. But there's this voice inside your head telling you to stop. What if it doesn't work? What if you fail? It's the fear of failure that holds you back, that makes you hesitate, that keeps you frozen in place. You've tried to avoid it, to protect yourself from it. But no matter how hard you try, it keeps lingering in the back of your mind. I get it. You've been taught that failure is something to be avoided at all costs. You've been told that success is about doing things perfectly, getting everything right, and avoiding mistakes. But here's the reality: failure is not your enemy. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's an essential part of the journey towards success. In fact, you won't truly succeed until you fail. Let that sink in for a moment. You cannot achieve greatness without first stepping into failure. It's the uncomfortable truth that nobody likes to talk about. Everyone wants to jump straight to the victory, to the glory, to the rewards. But the path to those things is lined with failures, mistakes, missteps, miscalculations. And it's in those moments, in those failures, that the real growth happens. The reason you're so afraid of failure is because you've been conditioned to see it as a reflection of your worth. When you fail, you think it means you're not good enough, that you're not capable, that you're destined for mediocrity. But that's the lie. Failure is not who you are. It's just what happens when you try something new. It's part of the process. It's how you learn, how you adapt, how you get better. If you think about the most successful people in the world, the ones who've built empires, who've achieved the unimaginable, they didn't get there by playing it safe. They didn't get there by avoiding risk or keeping everything comfortable. No, they got there because they were willing to take risks. They were willing to step into the unknown, to fail, and to keep going. They failed time and time again, but each failure was a lesson. Each setback taught them something they needed to know. Failure doesn't stop them. It propels them forward. And that's the shift you need to make. You need to stop seeing failure as a setback and start seeing it as a stepping stone. Every time you fail, you're not falling backwards, you're moving forward. You're learning what works and what doesn't. You're learning how to adjust and how to grow. Failure is feedback. It's telling you, try again, but try smarter. And if you can accept that, if you can embrace failure as part of your journey, you'll find that the fear of it loses its power over you. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it feels safer to stay in your comfort zone, to stick with what you know. But here's the truth. Nothing great ever happens in the comfort zone. If you want to experience the life you're capable of, if you want to step into the version of yourself that you've been dreaming about, you have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to fail. And here's the secret. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. The real failure isn't in trying and falling short. It's in not trying at all. The people who never take risks, who never fail, are the ones who stay stuck, who stay small, who stay comfortable. They don't grow. They don't evolve. And they certainly don't achieve the things they were meant to achieve. But when you embrace failure, when you allow yourself to take risks and learn from them, you put yourself on the path to something greater than you've ever imagined. But I also know that it's hard. It's hard to put yourself out there, to make that leap when the stakes feel so high. It's hard to trust yourself when you've been burned before. And sometimes failure feels like a heavy weight that you don't want to carry. But here's the thing, you don't have to carry it forever. Failure is temporary. The lessons you learn from it are permanent. Every time you fail, you get closer to the person you're meant to become. And every time you get up and try again, you build a resilience that no one can take from you. So what's holding you back? What's stopping you from taking that risk? From embracing the possibility of failure? Is it the fear of judgment? The fear of looking foolish? The fear of losing something that feels important? Let it go, because none of it matters in the end. What matters is the life you want to create, the person you want to become, and the impact you want to have on the world. And that journey, that path requires risk. It requires you to step into the unknown, to trust the process, and to fail along the way. Here's where the transformation happens. When you stop running from failure and start running toward it. You stop seeing it as an obstacle and start seeing it as a gateway to your success. You stop worrying about what could go wrong and start focusing on what could go right. When you do that, you'll realize that failure is no longer something to fear. It's just part of the process. And once you embrace it, once you accept it as a natural part of the journey, you'll move through it faster, stronger, and more confident than ever before. The moment you stop fearing failure is the moment you unlock your true potential. Because when you fail and get back up, and fail and get back up again, you prove to yourself that there's nothing that can stop you. That's when success isn't just a destination. It's a journey, one that you walk with courage, one step at a time. And with each step, you get closer to the person you're meant to be. And that, my friend, is the real success. You've done it again, haven't you? You find yourself scrolling through social media, watching other people's lives unfold with apparent ease. You see them achieving what you've been working toward, moving forward in ways that make it look effortless. And then there's you, stuck, questioning your every move, wondering why it feels like everyone else is ahead. That voice creeps in. What's wrong with me? Why is it happening for them, but not for me? You've spent hours, maybe days, maybe weeks, measuring yourself against others, trying to figure out where you're falling short, where you've missed the mark. It's exhausting, isn't it? Every comparison feels like another weight added to your shoulders, another doubt that creeps into your mind. You start to believe that maybe you're not good enough, that maybe you'll never be as successful, as happy, or as fulfilled as the people around you. But here's the hard truth. You are not them. And thank goodness for that. You are you. Unique, with your own journey, your own struggles, your own strength. The only problem is you've been measuring yourself by someone else's standards. You've been comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. It's making you feel small, inadequate, and frustrated. You've lost sight of your own progress, of how far you've come, because you're too busy watching everyone else's journey. It's time to break free from that cycle. It's time to stop letting comparison rob you of your joy, your confidence, and your focus. It's time to stop measuring your worth against anyone else's path and start measuring it against your own growth. Let's be real here. Comparison is a trap. It lures you in, makes you feel like you're not enough, like you're falling behind. And before you know it, you're stuck in this endless loop of self-doubt. But the truth is, you're only competing with one person, the person you were yesterday. That's it. That's the only comparison that matters. And when you start to focus on that, when you start measuring your progress against your own journey, you'll begin to see how far you've come. But I know how hard it is. I know how easy it is to look at someone else's success and feel like you're not where you should be. It feels like everyone else has figured it out, while you're still trying to make sense of it all. The truth is, no one has it all figured out. And the people you're comparing yourself to, they're not on the same path as you. They're not facing the same challenges, the same obstacles. Their journey is theirs, and yours is yours. And that's where the freedom lies, in realizing that your path is unique, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. The first step to breaking free from comparison is to accept your journey as it is. Stop trying to rush through it. Stop looking for shortcuts. Embrace the struggle, the slow moments, the missteps. Every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. And it's your progress, your growth, no one else's. It's so easy to get caught up in the idea that success needs to happen quickly, or that you need to be at a certain place by a certain age. But that's not true. Success is not linear. It doesn't happen at the same pace for everyone. And it's not defined by milestones set by other people. When you start to focus on your own path, you start to see that you are making progress, even when it doesn't feel like it. You might not be where you want to be right now, but that doesn't mean you're not moving forward. That doesn't mean your efforts are in vain. It just means you're on your own timeline. And that's okay. It's more than okay, it's perfect. Here's the real power. When you stop comparing, you free yourself. You free yourself from the pressure, from the expectations, from the constant measuring of your worth against others. You stop looking at other people's achievements as a reflection of your own inadequacy. And instead, you start focusing on what you're building, what you're creating, what you're becoming. It's not about getting there faster. It's about being proud of the journey you're on, the work you're putting in, and the progress you're making. It's about learning to appreciate the unique path you're walking, knowing that it's leading you to exactly where you need to be. No one else can walk your path. No one else can tell your story. And no one else can measure your success but you. The breakthrough comes when you realize that your success is not defined by anyone else's timeline, by anyone else's standards, by anyone else's achievements. It's defined by you, by the steps you take, by the growth you experience, by the way you evolve through the challenges you face. When you start seeing your worth through your own eyes, when you start measuring your progress against yourself and not others, you'll begin to feel lighter. You'll begin to feel empowered, and you'll start seeing your journey for what it truly is, a beautiful, imperfect, messy, but entirely yours journey. So let go of the comparisons. Stop looking at where others are and start looking at how far you've come. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small they may seem. Recognize the effort you've put in, the strength you've shown, the resilience you've built. You are exactly where you need to be, and that's enough. When you stop measuring yourself against others, you'll finally be free to be the person you were always meant to be. Authentic, powerful, and unapologetically yourself. Your path is yours, and no one else's journey can ever define it. The moment you realize that, everything changes, and that's when you'll start seeing real progress, because you're no longer looking outside for validation. You found it within yourself. You've been following the rules, haven't you? You've been looking at the path laid out by everyone else, climbing that ladder, ticking off the boxes, doing what you're supposed to do. You see the milestones others have achieved, and you think, maybe if I do the same thing, I'll get there too. But somewhere deep inside, you feel it. You feel that gnawing sense that this path, this prescribed journey, is not your own. It's someone else's story, someone else's dream, someone else's formula for success. You started to wonder if maybe you're just not cut out for this. You see the people around you moving along their predictable journeys. Graduates getting the job they studied for. Friends climbing the career ladder. The next step always clear, always laid out. Here you are, standing at the crossroads, uncertain. There's something inside you that wants to break away from all that, wants to do something different, something authentic, but you don't know where to start. You don't know how to make your own path. The world around you tells you that success has one definition, one path. It tells you that there's a formula, a blueprint that works for everyone, but that's where the lie begins. Success is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Your journey will not look like anyone else's, and that is exactly how it's supposed to be. You are unique. Your strengths, your passions, your purpose, they're all different. And it's time for you to start embracing that. You don't have to follow the script that was handed to you. You don't have to fit into the mold that others have set for you. The truth is, the most successful people aren't the ones who followed the rules. They're the ones who created their own. And when you realize that, when you start to believe that your own path is just as valid as anyone else's, that's when the real magic begins. But here's the thing. Creating your own path is scary. It's uncertain. It's uncomfortable. It requires you to step into the unknown, to leave behind the familiar, to ignore the noise of what the world says you should do. And that's hard, because every part of you has been conditioned to believe that there's one right way, one safe way. The fear of stepping outside of that box is real. It feels risky. It feels dangerous. But let me tell you this. The real danger lies in not following your own path. The real risk is in trying to fit into someone else's mold, to chase someone else's dream. Your heart knows what it wants. Your instincts know where to go. And the moment you decide to trust them, to step into your own journey, that's when you begin to live authentically. That's when you start moving toward a success that actually means something to you. Something that is built on your values, your passions, your strengths. It's time to stop comparing yourself to others. You're not them. Your story is not theirs. And it's not supposed to be. It's time to start listening to your own voice, to trust your own direction. You know what lights you up? You know what drives you. It's time to let that be the compass that guides you forward. The world might try to tell you that you need to follow the traditional path, that success only looks one way. But deep down, you know it's not true. Your journey is meant to be unique. It's meant to unfold differently than the others. And that difference is your strength. Your path is not meant to be predictable. It's meant to be a reflection of who you are, of what makes you come alive. And when you begin to see your uniqueness as a gift rather than a burden, that's when you'll unlock the door to real success. I know it's hard to take that first step, to make the decision to chart your own course. I know the pressure to conform, to play it safe, to stick with what's familiar. But you're not here to play it safe. You're here to do something extraordinary. You're here to build a life that is your own. It's time to trust your instincts, to trust the path that only you can see. The world might not understand it. They might not get it. And that's okay, because this journey isn't for them. It's for you. Here's where the shift happens. When you stop seeking approval from others, you free yourself. You stop looking around, wondering if you're on the right track. You stop comparing your progress to someone else's timeline. And instead, you focus on what makes sense for you. You focus on your own growth, your own evolution. And once you do that, you will find that the pressure to live up someone else's expectations begins to fade away. The more you lean into your own path, the more you will feel the weight lift from your shoulders. The uncertainty, it becomes your strength. The unknown, it becomes the playground where your creativity thrives. The risk, it becomes the challenge that propels you forward. You are capable of creating something truly unique. You are capable of building a path that is all your own. You have the power to define success in your own terms, to build a life that is a reflection of your soul. The only thing that's holding you back is the fear of stepping away from what's familiar. But I promise you this, once you start to embrace that fear, once you start to trust your instincts, you'll begin to see just how much power you truly have. So here's the breakthrough. Success isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out. It's about carving out a life that is true to who you are and having the courage to follow that path no matter where it leads. You don't need to follow anyone else's map. Your journey is yours. And when you finally realize that, when you start living that truth every single day, that's when everything changes. That's when you'll look up and see that your journey is not only different, it's exactly what you were meant to create. You've heard it all before, haven't you? The advice, the well-meaning words from family, friends, colleagues, mentors. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone tells you what you should do, how you should act, what decisions you should make. They tell you how to succeed, how to be happy, how to live your life, and yet you're standing here feeling like none of it fits. Their paths aren't your path. Their advice doesn't align with the calling inside of you. But still, you listen. You try to follow the rule. You try to follow the advice that's been given to you. And you wonder why. Despite all the wisdom, despite all the guides, despite all the rules, things aren't falling into place for you the way they seem to for everyone else. I know that feeling. The frustration, the confusion. The feeling that you're constantly caught between what you know you should be doing and what you feel deep inside is the right thing to do. The voice that tells you this isn't your path, even though everyone else is telling you that you're doing it wrong. It's easy to get lost in the noise. The world is full of advice. And on the surface, it seems logical. It's practical. It's safe. Everyone says that it's the right way. And when you're overwhelmed, when you're unsure, you listen. You trust others because it feels like the right thing to do. But here's the truth you need to hear. Not all advice will work for you. Not all of it is right for your journey. The real answer is inside of you. It's time to start trusting that gut feeling, that quiet whisper inside that knows what's right for you. You've been conditioned to look outside of yourself for validation, for guidance, to look for the answers in books, in podcasts, in gurus, in the success stories of others. But what if the true breakthrough you're searching for is already inside of you? What if the answers you're seeking don't come from anyone else, but from the quiet, intuitive voice that you've been silencing for so long? It's time to trust yourself. It's time to start listening to your own instincts, your own intuition. Because the truth is, you know yourself better than anyone else does. You know your strengths. You know your weaknesses. You know your passions, your desires, your fears. You know what makes you feel alive, and you know what drains you. You know your own journey, and you know what feels right. But for some reason, you've been ignoring it. You've been trusting others more than you trust yourself. And it's time to change that. The world is full of advice, and most of it is well-meaning. But here's the hard truth. Not all of it applies to you. Not all of it is meant for your life, your path, your purpose. Just because something works for someone else doesn't mean it will work for you. Your journey is unique. It's personal, and only you can define what success looks like for you. I know that trusting yourself can be scary. I know the fear that comes with stepping away from conventional advice, from the road that everyone else is walking on. You start to doubt yourself. You wonder if you're making a mistake. You question whether you're being reckless, whether you're being naive. But here's the thing. Your intuition is not wrong. It's not misguided. Your instincts have been honed by your experiences, your values, your struggles, and your dreams. They know more about what you need than anyone else does. The more you learn to trust them, the more you will begin to see that the path you're creating for yourself is the right one. This isn't about being reckless. It's about being brave enough to listen to your inner voice, to take steps in the direction that feels right for you, even if no one else understands it. It's about trusting that the small, quiet voice inside you knows exactly where you need to go. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to have a perfect plan. What you need is to start listening, to start trusting that inner guide, and to begin moving in alignment with your own truth. And when you start doing that, something powerful happens. The noise around you begins to fade. The pressure of external expectations starts to lift. You start to feel more at peace with your decisions, more confident in your path because you are finally trusting yourself. You stop second-guessing every move. You stop looking for validation from others. You stop measuring your progress by someone else's standards. And instead, you start measuring it by the way it feels to you. You begin to trust that the only voice that truly matters is your own. This shift is powerful. It's freeing. The moment you choose to trust yourself, to follow your own instincts, you step into your true power. The fear of making the wrong choice fades because you realize that there is no wrong choice when you're following what feels true to you. Every decision is a lesson. Every misstep a chance to learn, grow, and evolve. You begin to move with purpose, with clarity, with confidence, because you're finally aligned with what you truly want, not what others think you should want. Here's the breakthrough moment. Your path will never look like anyone else's, and that's the beauty of it. Your life isn't meant to mirror someone else's journey. It's meant to be unique. It's meant to be your own. And the more you trust your own instincts, the more you will begin to carve out a path that is truly yours. A path that is authentic, fulfilling, and aligned with your deepest desires. So stop second-guessing yourself. Stop looking for answers outside of yourself. Trust that you already know what's best for you. Your instincts are powerful. Your intuition is powerful. And when you begin to listen to it, you'll be amazed at how much clearer the path becomes. You are your own greatest guide. It's time to trust yourself, to follow your own truth, and to let that be the driving force behind everything you do. And when you do that, everything changes. Because when you trust yourself, you unlock a version of you that is unstoppable. A version that doesn't need anyone else's approval. A version that is finally walking their own path with confidence, knowing that they are exactly where they are meant to be. And that is the breakthrough. You've been trying, haven't you? You've put in the work, you've given your all, but it's still not happening the way you imagined. You keep seeing everyone else moving ahead, achieving things quickly, getting the instant gratification that seems so elusive to you. It's like a constant reminder that your success is taking longer than expected. And with each passing day, the doubt creeps in. What's wrong with me? Why isn't this working? Am I wasting my time? Feels like you're doing everything right, and yet the results aren't showing up as quickly as you want them to. That frustration, that impatience, it's real. You've been conditioned to expect fast results, to want everything now. The world tells you that success comes in quick bursts, that it's all about immediate wins, about climbing the ladder and seeing the rewards instantly. And when you don't see those rewards right away, you feel like you're falling behind, like maybe you're doing something wrong. But here's what I need you to hear right now. Real success doesn't happen overnight. It's built slowly, steadily, over time. I know that's not what you want to hear. You want the breakthrough, the instant victory, the moment where everything suddenly clicks. But that's not how it works. Not for real, lasting success. The truth is, success that's worth having, the kind that transforms your life, takes time to build. It's a process. It's a journey. It's not about the short-term gains. It's about creating a life that is sustainable, that stands the test of time. And if you can learn to embrace that, to trust the long-term vision for your life and your goals, you'll find that the waiting is worth it. Here's the hard truth. The journey isn't always easy, and it's definitely not fast. We've been taught to expect instant results, but that's not how life works. And when you learn to embrace the idea that success is built over time, that's when you stop rushing, stop looking for shortcuts, and start seeing the value in the slow, steady work. The beauty of long-term vision is that it allows you to move at your own pace, to make decisions based on where you want to be, not where you are right now. The first step in embracing a long-term vision is understanding that you're not in a race. You are on your own timeline. There's no finish line to cross except for the one you create. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone else, to their pace or their progress. It doesn't matter if someone else seems to be getting there faster. Your success will look different, and that's not just okay, it's exactly what it's supposed to be. The frustration comes from the belief that you should already be where you want to be. But the reality is, every step you take, every bit of effort you put in, even when the results aren't immediate, is building the foundation for your future. You're laying bricks for something that will stand, something that will last. It might not look like much right now, but every day you're getting closer. Every moment of patience, every challenge you face, every failure you rise from, is adding to the person you are becoming and the life you're building. I know you're tired of waiting. I know it's hard to keep going when it feels like you're not seeing the fruits of your labor right away. But here's where the shift happens. The waiting is not wasted. The slow process is not time lost. It's a critical part of the journey. It's where you learn, where you grow, where you evolve. This is where your foundation is built. And the stronger that foundation, the more solid your success will be when it arrives. Think about it. How often do we celebrate the fast wins, the quick successes, and yet, when things come too easily, when success happens too quickly, it often doesn't last. What comes fast can leave just as fast. But when you take the time to build, to go through the process, you create something that can stand the test of time. And that's what matters. Now, I know it's hard to stay focused when you don't see immediate results. I know the temptation to quit or shift gears becomes overwhelming when the road seems long and the finish line far away. But trust me when I say every single step forward is progress. Even if it feels small, even if it feels insignificant, it's still moving you closer to where you need to be. You're not stuck. You're on a path that requires patience, persistence, and a belief in the vision you're creating for yourself. This is where you have to trust yourself. Trust that the work you're doing now will pay off later, even if you can't see it yet. Trust that the effort you're putting in today will compound over time and will lead you exactly where you need to go. Success doesn't happen in a straight line. There are twists, turns, delays, obstacles, but it's all part of the process. And when you stop looking for quick fixes, when you stop worrying about how long it's taking, you can finally start to appreciate the journey for what it is. The moment you shift from focusing on immediate results to trusting the long-term vision, everything changes. You no longer feel like you're falling behind. You no longer feel like you're stuck. You realize that you are exactly where you need to be, and the journey you're on is unfolding perfectly. There's no rush. You can breathe, you can step back, and you can let the process work. And then the breakthrough comes. Not in the moment you cross the finish line, but in the realization that the finish line isn't even what matters anymore. What matters is the journey itself, the growth, the lessons, the person you're becoming. When you embrace the long-term vision, when you accept that success is a process, you stop measuring your worth by the speed at which you're moving. You start to appreciate the value of the work, the importance of staying grounded, and the power of persistence. So let go of the need for instant results. Trust the timing of your life. Trust the process. And most of all, trust yourself. Because in the end, it's not about how fast you get there, it's about who you become along the way. And that, my friend, is the real success.